Look, guys, if you want to go 6-1, all you got to do is like this video. If you want to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, like this video. Because in week 1, week 2, I don't know what happened in week 3, to be honest. But in week 4 and week 5, we said if you want to win the game, like the video. Last week on the video we did in the Ravens preview, we got 1.4 thousand likes. I think we got to top that. You want to beat the Jaguars? Like this video right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to go through an in-depth preview of Giants versus the Jags. We're going to go through all the numbers you need to know about the Jags offense and defense, as well as the Giants, some key players to look out for, and my 5 keys to victory. And then at the end, I'll give you my prediction of what I think happens in Week 6. But first, I want to give a shout out to a subscriber, Emil. Every video that we've done in a preview this year, we said if you predict the correct score and the winner, and if you're the first person to do so, I said I'd Venmo you $25. And Emil, my guy, predicted 24-20 Giants over the Ravens last week. So we sent him a Venmo. Shout out to Emil. We pay up on our bets and debts here on New York Giants. Now, shout out to Emil, though, for predicting the correct score of last week's game. Enough of last week. On to Jacksonville, to quote John Mara. The Giants, somehow, someway, are 3-point underdogs against the Jags this week. It's going to be a noon, 1 p.m. game on the East Coast this Sunday, October 23rd. The total over-under is 42.5. And look, I already put a bet in with chatsports.com/BetUS, our proud sportsbook partner, on the Giants' money line. I would suggest you do the same. As long as the Giants are going to be getting 3 points, I like the money line. Do it. Place a bet with our proud sportsbook partner, chatsports.com/bet. Make sure you use that promo code, chat125. I also want to just give a big thanks to Vegas because, look, the Giants, their belly might have been a little bit full. Their head probably got a little big after they beat the after they beat the Packers, and they beat the Ravens. But now we got the extra motivation we needed. We got that bulletin board material. You know that's going to be plastered all over the Giants locker room. Vegas has us as underdogs against the Jags. Thanks, Vegas, for the motivation. I just want everyone right now to type thanks, Vegas, in the comments section right now. This is a trap game through and through. Anytime you see a Northeast team go down to Florida, play in the hot temperatures, the humidity is going to be there. It's a trap game. It's a long trip. Your belly's full. You just had 2 big back-to-back wins, but you got to lock in. The Jags, they are better than what their record says. They're a well-coached team with Doug Peterson. Trevor Lawrence has a lot of talent. He could be really good. I like Travis Etienne and James Robinson. We'll get some stats from those guys here in a second, but they are much better than their record says they are. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. This isn't going to be an easy game for the New York Giants. Brian Daboll, you got to have the team motivated because, look, you can't be full off your past success. You got to be hungry for what's coming down the line. Let's go 6-1. On to Jacksonville. That's all this team needs to be focused on. Let's take a look at some offensive stats for both teams through 6 weeks of the NFL season. The Jags, they score about 23 points per game, which is 15th best in the NFL. Their yards per game is in the upper half as well, 12th with 370 yards per game. They throw for about 232, which is 21st. They run for about 136, which is 9th best. And they are actually pretty damn good on third down conversion rate. They convert at least almost 42% of the time, 41.1. That's going to be a big area the Giants need to win. You win the third down conversion battle, you win the turnover battle, a lot of times you're going to win the game. That's going to mean Wink Martindale's going to have to call up some blitzes and some really good defensive schemes on third down. Let's look at the defensive side. If you haven't been following the Jags, you haven't watched any Jags games this year, I understand that. I don't blame you, but they have a pretty damn good defense. Almost as good as the New York Giants. They allow just 19 points per game, which is 9th best in the NFL, giving up just 333 yards per game, which is 11th best in the NFL. pass yardage, that's where you can beat them. Their pass defense isn't as great, but their rush defense is top 3 in the NFL. They're giving up less than 90 yards per game on the ground. So finding a way to get Saquon involved early and often is going to be key. And they don't really get off the pressure. They don't get that much pressure that much in games. They've only have 10 sacks on the season, which is 27th in the NFL. So after looking at the stats, the offense and the defensive stats, who do you got? Let me know. Who do you got winning this game this Sunday? If you're rolling with the Giants, type NYG. Or if you think the Jags are going to come out and win the football game, you can type JAX in the comment section. I want to focus a little bit more on Trevor Lawrence, a guy that I think has made some strides this year following what he did in his rookie year where he had more interceptions than touchdowns. This is a guy that is being groomed by one of the best QB developers in the NFL in Doug Peterson. Trevor Lawrence has the ability to beat you any given day. Completes about 65% of his passes, almost 1,400 yards so far, 9 TDs to 4 INTs. He's good enough to beat you. He's a super talented kid. Look, if they can ever figure it out in Jacksonville, Lawrence is a good QB to have. It's going to be key stopping him on this offense. But they're also good, and they have a two-headed monster really in the backfield. Both guys have over 300 yards rushing on the ground. Travis Etienne is more of their receiving back. He has 13 grabs for 146 yards on the season. He averages about 5.6 yards per carry, whereas James Robinson is more of their in-between the tackles kind of guy. He has 81 carries for 340 yards, about 4.2 yards per carry. He does have 3 touchdowns, and he has receiving touchdowns. Stopping these two guys are going to be king. Also, it's a revenge game for our guy, Evan Ingram. He's actually third on the team for the Jags with receptions, 24 receptions for 208 yards. Zay Jones has 27 grabs for 227 yards and a touchdown. And Christian Kirk is their number 1 after they gave him the bag this offseason. He's got 25 catches for 362 yards and 4 TDs. Stopping Kirk is going to be big. I expect Adoree Jackson to be traveling and covering him sideline to sideline. Here's some of the Jags' top defensive players. Josh Allen, as we know, is a really, really good edge rusher. He leads the team in sacks. You're going to need guys like Evan Neal to step up. Andrew Thomas, I trust him at this point. I'm not worried about him at all. I think he'll win that matchup. Foye is a really good sideline-to-sideline tackler. He's led the NFL in tackles before. And Devin Lloyd, the guy that we talked about a lot on this channel, during the draft process, he's a sideline-to-sideline tackling machine, and he's good in pass coverage. He has 2 sacks already, or 2 interceptions, and Andre Cisco also has a couple of interceptions. These are the best defensive players that you want to be aware of when the Giants are on offense. At the end of the day, we're subbing for Giants dubs. You want the Giants to go 6-0? You want to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, subscribe to Giants now. Go down right now, hit that big red button. We put out videos every single day on the latest Giants news and rumors. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube, lock us in, hit that big red button right now. These were the inactives for the Giants last week against the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm not really sure I expect any of these guys to play. I think Azeez Ojulari is the guy that has the best chance. I mean, it'd be awesome to see Kadarius Toney out there. I doubt it. I also have some injury news on Saquon Barkley with that shoulder injury. Sounds like he's going to be good to go. And John Feliciano, who left the game in the 4th quarter with an injury, the center, sounds like he is also going to be good to go. Be awesome to get Toney and Ojulari back. I don't know, though. It's always tricky with these injuries, but these are the guys that you should be looking for on the Giants injury report. Let's get to my 5 keys to victory now to beat the Jaguars. Come in motivated. This is not going to be a game where you can just roll over into Jacksonville and win it. This is going to be a tough game. Doug Peterson, he's a hell of a coach. He was the guy that I was interested in having the Giants come and hire him. They are much better than their record says. I promise, guys. Jacksonville is not going to be an easy win. You got to go to Jacksonville. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. The Giants, they could maybe not be motivated, but they have every reason to be motivated. You can go 6-1. You're underdogs. You control your own destiny. Brian Daboll, get the troops ready. You got to be ready to go and play this Sunday against the Jags. Also, you got to get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. This is a guy that can, as we showed you the stats, he can sit back in the pocket and tear you up. You got to get pressure on him. The Jags, they have allowed just 10 sacks this season, which is the 8th least in the NFL. So they protect Trevor Lawrence, they do a really good job of that. We need Wink Martindale to show up, get after him, keep coming with those creative blitzes and those creative schemes. Kayvon Thibodeau, let's get sack number 2. Leonard Williams, continue to be great when you're playing. And Dexter Lawrence, keep being you, because Dexter Lawrence, among defensive tackles, has the second most sacks, the second most QB hits, and the second most QB pressures. Let's hope we can get Azeez Ojulari back if we can. That would be a huge lift for this defensive line and pass rush, and this is the week for him to play. You want Azeez Ojulari to play? Let's show him some love. We've missed him the past couple of weeks. The pass rushing phenom out of Georgia, the sophomore season guy. Type 51 in the comments if you want to see Azeez suit up and play for Big Blue this weekend. Start fast and put them away, because you can't let losers linger. Like, when you play beer pong and you're struggling on that last cup, lingerers lose. If you give this Jacksonville team any hope to stick around, they will come back and it will be a fight till the end, all 60 minutes. Start fast, put them away, put them in the dirt, make this game over before you get to halftime or the third quarter. We don't need another close game in the fourth quarter. We know the Giants have been great in the second half. I will continue to expect that to happen. This coaching staff has been awesome with in-game adjustments, but let's start fast. Let's put them away. They are not that great of a football team. They're better than the record says. If you get out early, jump on them, you could definitely put this game away early on in the ball game. You got to find a way to keep Saquon going. Find a way to get him involved early, whether it's in the pass game, whether it's in the rush game. We showed you the stats earlier. The Jags have one of the best rush defenses in the NFL. Saquon Barkley's been great, but it's going to be probably his toughest task of the season. I think he's having a season where if the MVP wasn't just a quarterback award, he'd be in the running. Look, 616 yards. He's the number 1 player in the NFL with scrimmage yardage so far through 6 weeks. Has 4 touchdowns, averaging 5.2 yards per pop. This guy's not back. He's better than ever. This is the best version of Saquon Barkley that we have ever seen for the New York Giants. Find a way to establish Saquon early and often. He's going to be big to get this offense going. Feed 26. And this one might sound lame and it might be chalk, but do the little things. Because when you are the better football team, it comes down to the little things. When you're playing a team like the Jaguars, who are probably less motivated than you, probably don't have as much to play for, you have to do the little things to beat them. Protect the football. Be good on special teams. Don't let any crazy special teams plays happen. Don't turn it over on special teams. Win the third down battle. Win the turnover battle. You do those things. You do the little things. This team next Monday will be 6-1, and we'll be starting the show clapping it up, saying if you're enjoying Victory Monday, like this video. Come in motivated. Get pressure on Lawrence. Start fast. Put him away. Keep Saquon going and do the little things. You do those 5 things, and this team will be 6-1. I want you guys, though, to end today's show to predict the score for me in the comment section right now. Let me know what the score. Let me know the winner. I want to hear from you all in the comment section. Look, I'm rolling with the Giants. 6-1. I got the Giants winning this one 23-20. I think it could be a bigger, gap right there. I think the Giants can win by more, but I do think this has trap game written all over it. You're underdogs in Vegas. You're going to Florida. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. You're playing a good coach team. Trevor Lawrence has talent, a really good defense. Come out fast, and you'll win this football game. I got Giants 23-20. I appreciate everybody that's made New York Giants now a part of their day today. If you made it this far in the video, I want you to comment real one down in the comments right now.